Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here, a very warm welcome to you. My name's Emily and I am a knitter, crocheter and very occasional sewer. Today's episode is my usual podcast, so I'll be covering any finished objects, of which there is one today, which is exciting. I will also be covering any works in progress that I've done work on in the past couple of weeks, and I'll also be covering any cast-ons or acquisitions. There is a cast-on. Yes, there is a cast on. Anyway, if that sounds interesting, then stay tuned and we'll get stuck in. Hello everyone, how are you all? I hope you're all doing well and that you've had an absolutely amazing week and weekend. I was in Bruges last week, so holiday was absolutely fantastic, very much needed, extremely needed. In case you haven't seen, I have uploaded a video last week that kind of covered the trip for Bruges, and it also took care of a lot of acquisitions because I had quite a few to go through and I really didn't want this episode to be massively long. I mean, it's going to be big anyway, usually is, but I thought if I can cut out a couple of the acquisitions in last week's video, then fabulous. I do have one acquisition from last week's video that I will show you today, only briefly, just because I'm very excited and it is happening next week. So all will make sense when I get to it. Anyway, so last week, obviously I was in Bruges, very good. Friday just gone, we went to a concert down in London and it was, where was it? At Wembley Park, I think it's called. And it was an evening with Joe Hisaishi, and he is the composer of the music for the Studio Ghibli films, Japanese animation studio, and legends, utter legends. Movies are absolutely fantastic. If you've not seen them, I do highly recommend checking some out. My Neighbour Totoro is always a fun one, but my personal favourite is Laputa, Castle in the Sky. Yeah, so that was absolutely amazing. I did my best and I did not cry. I thought there were a few moments that were a bit touch and go. As soon as they started playing the Princess Mononoke music, I was like, oh no, here we go. But I did well, I didn't cry. It was very emotional, and this concert has been many years in the waiting because my partner got this tickets for this concert back when COVID wasn't a thing. So we were supposed to go and see this concert, I think it was, 3 years ago? I feel like it was either 2020, was it? Oh, I completely lost track of the years with, you know, the pandemic and everything. But he bought these tickets for me and they were for my birthday. I believe the concert was originally supposed to be around my birthday that time in 2020. I think it was 2020. As I say, I've lost track of years, so please excuse me if I've got my years wrong. But back when we had the first lockdown was the year we were supposed to go to this concert, and obviously for pandemic reasons it was postponed. It was postponed for 2 years, and then last year it was rescheduled. We were supposed to go, however, Joe Hisaishi basically got COVID and was unable to come over from Japan to do the concert. So it was postponed again, which is, you know, perfectly fine. We knew we'd get there in the end, and it happened Friday just gone. And let me tell you, yep, it was really special because back in the 80s when I was a wee little person, I grew up with these movies. I grew up with Laputa basically. It was the first one I ever saw and it just blew me away, and it's such an enchanting movie that it really inspired me for a lot of my youth. And yeah, I spent a lot of time around those movies. They really are really special. I have some very special books because we went to Japan. I'm really segueing here, but bear with me. We went to Japan in 2017, the year of the appendix. I'm really segueing. So when I had my mishap with my appendix, that was the year we went to Japan, and it was like a treat for recovering so well. But yeah, it was absolutely amazing. And we went to the Studio Ghibli museum, and yes, it was wonderful. And another mini segue, I have a degree in animation. That was my training in my younger years. So I went to university, graduated with a degree in animation. So going to the museum, the Studio Ghibli Museum, was kind of like a harkening back to my years in study, in school, in college, in university, because they had all the, well, not all of them, that would be impossible, but they had a few of the various different tools of the trade basically dotted around the museum, and they had like setup of Hayao Miyazaki's studio, and yeah, it was wonderful. I really segued and I completely lost the point, but the concert was amazing. It was so good. Yeah, just see what I mean? It just made me swim in my youth. It was absolutely wonderful. Very, very talented singers, musicians, such a talented group of, such a talented orchestra. Basically, it was absolutely fantastic. Highly recommend it. If they do it again, highly recommend it. Anyway, after that massive segue, I'm just looking at the time, 5 minutes. I need to learn, don't I? But yes, welcome to my world. I have just had, I just finished about half an hour ago, my business coaching session, which has basically turned into therapy. So I'm on a bit of a high because it was a really positive session. I've done a lot of things that have been very positive in terms of turning things around for myself. So I feel really, really positive. I feel really good. My business coach slash therapist is very, very pleased with me, and we have a lot of things to work on still, obviously. It's never ending, but it was a really positive session. So I am absolutely buzzing, which is probably why I am going on and on and on. So again, that is why there are chapters below, because you can completely skip my waffle if you choose. You don't have to listen to me waffle if you don't want to. So I am just going to let you know what's coming up on the channel, because there's a lot going to be happening in October. That starts on Sunday. So the first thing is my October month-end wrap-up. Now, I am not entirely sure when I'm going to be recording this video. It will probably be next Wednesday. Or it'll probably be Wednesday, and then it will probably come out on the Saturday. So it won't be I'm trying to think when this video uploads on a Friday, so it won't be this Saturday, it will be next Saturday. So the first Saturday in October you should be getting my October month-end wrap-up. Now, the other thing that's happening in October is it's Vlogtober. So that starts this Sunday. It has all of a sudden, I was going to say it's crept upon us. It kind of has, but it's all of a sudden here. So I'm not fully prepared. I'm not going to lie. I am not fully prepared for it, but I do have plans to increase the amount of videos I give you. I would love to say I will do it every day, but I cannot guarantee that because I don't know how busy I'm going to be, basically. And actually, so Sunday is the 1st of October. So that day you definitely won't be receiving a video from me because I am out of the house all day on Sunday. We were supposed to be away for the weekend, so Saturday to Monday we were supposed to be in London for that time period. We were supposed to be there, but unfortunately there is a train strike here in the UK and there are no trains running to London or in London as far as I'm aware on Saturday, this Saturday, tomorrow, as you are seeing this video. So there are no trains running. So we have had to cancel our hotel that we had booked. Thankfully we got a refund, but we had to cancel the hotel because there was, logistically, we just couldn't really do the coach and things like that. It just, yeah, we can't really drive down to London. We could, but for what we're going for, it just doesn't make sense. So we've cancelled our long weekend in London, and we're just going down for the day on Sunday. And that is because we are going to an American football game in London at Wembley Stadium. There's too many Wembleys going on in my head. So we're going to Wembley Stadium on Saturday the 1st of October for the American football game, and it's going to be the Falcons versus the Jaguars. So very excited for that. They are not teams that we support, so I've just had a message on my phone I need to silence it. You wouldn't be able to hear it because it's on silence anyway, but it pops up on the setup that I have on the mirror of my image. It popped up, it distracted me, I'm sorry. Anyway, we're off to the American football on Sunday, so very, very excited for that. But what it means is, because we're going down for just that day, we need to get up at the crack of dawn, get down to London. Trains are running, as far as I'm aware, on Sunday, so we'll be going down on the train. And then the football game, I think kick-off is 2:30. Gates open at 11:30, kick-off is at 2:30. The game is technically 3 hours long, but it could run over depending on overtime and stoppages and everything like that. And then what's the other thing? Oh yeah, it takes hours to get out of Wembley Stadium when there's a game on. Hours. So yeah, we're not going to be home until very late on Sunday. So yeah, but I do have the day off on the 2nd. Monday the 2nd, I have the day off. So I'll be able to get you a video on Monday. Don't know when, but it will be coming on Monday, and hopefully I'll have some footage of the football if you're interested. Well, it's Vlogtober. I'm going to be trying to do vlogs for you. But anyway, Vlogtober is happening and I'm going to try and increase my videos. Long story short. Anyway, we are on to the first item of today, and that is my finished objects, of which I do have one for you this week. I'm very pleased. I could have finished others, but in trying to be real, I didn't want to push myself just to have another finished object to show you. As I said, probably in my long-winded intro, I've been very busy. I may not have said that, but I have been very busy. I mean, it's me, it's what happens. Work has been manic, and obviously I was away in Bruges last week, so you know, limited stuff, but I did get something finished, and I'm so pleased to have this finally finished. Let me make sure I've got it the right way round. I don't know why it's taken me so long, but here it is. This is my Find Your Fade shawl. Hang on. I need to get back and up. There we go. Find Your Fade shawl. Now, you have seen it looking very, very similar to this. The only difference is I finally tied in the ends, and that is why it's taken me so long to finish it. But here it is. It is done. Completely finished now. All of the yarn, sorry, this is the Find Your Fade shawl by Andrea Mowry. That is the right one, isn't it? Yes, it is. It's been so long. So basically this shawl is absolutely wonderful. It uses little lacework sections and mixes that up with little garter sections. And it is so much fun to make, and each section is just long enough before you need the next section. As it is a fade, it utilises 7 skeins of yarn. It doesn't use them all. It doesn't use the full skein of yarn. It just uses some of them more, some of them less. So for example, this one down here, it would have used less yarn than the one at this end, because this end is longer, but you get the idea. So 7 skeins of yarn, and the yarn that I used is West Green Loft yarns, and it's absolutely beautiful. I wanted this shawl to be a celebration of everything West Green Loft yarn, and I think it delivers, really, because I mean, it's hard not to, because all of the yarn that she dyes is absolutely beautiful anyway. So that is my shawl. I will put it on briefly. I have talked about this one non-stop, really. Sorry, I think I've just knocked my my headset, so you may have heard a bit of a washing by the headset. I do apologise. I will try to edit that out if there is anything, but here it is. This is basically how I wear my shawls. Nothing fancy. I'm not very adventurous with the wearing of them, but I just like having that extra fabric here. It's just nice. It just warms the chest. It feels good. And yeah, I like these long swooshy bits just because I do. I don't know why, but this is how I wear them. I could probably tuck it around again, maybe. It's quite long, but yeah, it is absolutely beautiful. I'm sure there's many different ways to wear it, and I'm sure I'll discover them throughout actually wearing it, because I can now wear it. So very exciting. But that is my Find Your Fade shawl by Andrea Mowry, and the yarn is by West Green Loft Yarns. Love it. Oh, it's so nice to have that finished, to be honest, because I think I started it in May, so it's been a long time coming, that one. but I absolutely adore it, and it hits the mark on everything that I wanted from it. So I'm very, very pleased. Right, on to the next section, which is my works in progress. Now, obviously I was away last week, but I did take a number of projects with me. I think, how many did I take with me? I took 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I take 4? Can't be right. I think I took 4 projects with me last week. Because we drove to Bruges, I wasn't too concerned about the space of needing to bring the project. So I had a project for the car, and then I had, yeah, I think that's right. And then I had 3 projects for the hotel or around Bruges if I had time. So I did get a bit of work done on these projects, which is great. Anyway, the first project that I have to show you today is my Rad Plaid Cowl by Andrea Mowry. Again, this one I'm just sort of just ploughing away slowly. So if I show you where I got to the last time I showed you, it's lovely watering can marker. I don't know why I'm moving it away from the camera. There we go. So I've done probably about 1 inch and a bit, not a lot, but it's just a project that I'm just going to be ploughing away at every so often, slowly as it goes. It's quite an intuitive pattern in the fact that I don't actually need the pattern to hand. The only thing I will need is to know how long to knit it, because it is a tube. So I do need to know how long to knit for. I'm way off it at the minute, way off it. So I just need to keep carrying on, but it's absolutely beautiful. The yarn I'm using is by Boss Castle yarn. Absolutely adore this yarn, by the way. You've heard me sing Tanya's praises many, many times, but she deserves it. So I will show you the yarn. Bear with me. I've got a really croaky throat today. I do apologise. So here is the label, the Boss Castle yarn. There you go. Wonderful UK dyer. Highly recommend. And the colourways that I've got are this one. This is is this my main colour? No, it's not. This is my secondary colour, and this is Gorse and Granite colourway. And then just excuse the what are they called? Yarn cozies. These are the yarn cozies by Nitty Natty, and the yarn on these are various. This one I think is West Green Loft yarns. In fact, it is from this shawl. There you go. Leftovers. Great leftover project. Mini segue there. The main colour is this absolutely gorgeous. This is probably one of my favourite colours, to be honest. I think it's beautiful. I'm not a massive green fan, but look at all those beautiful colours going on in there. It's just a beautiful shade of green. And this is called Valency Valley. And the yarn cozy, this is my hand-dyed yarn. It is it is Lynx White. Yeah, Lynx White. So from the Iron Lynx team, their white car. But the final colour is a beautiful, beautiful. I love this colour so much. You can see it anyway. Here it is. This colour is, oh, lovely. And it is is it alpaca? Why do I forget this every time? It is it's Surrey Silk Lake. It is lace. It is lace. It's alpaca, Surrey alpaca, and it's beautiful. The colourway is called Crowdy, and it's just beautiful. So all of those 3 together make this absolutely beautiful medley of colours. I think it's beautiful. As I said, green's not usually a colour I go for, but there was something about that green that I just had to have. So yeah, this Rad Plaid Cowl by Andrea Mowry, and the yarn is by Boss Castle yarn. I realise I'm being very confusing, but I feel like I have to explain yarn more, because I know in my previous videos I wasn't very good with explaining the yarn I was using, so I feel like it's more important. Any yarn that I talk about in my videos on any of the projects here, if they're hand dyers or they're a specific company, I will link them below, so in the description below. So there are links to all of the yarns that I talk about in this video, unless it's like a big commercial yarn like paint box yarn, for example, which you can get from many different places. Anyway, excuse me, I'm going to take a quick drink because for some reason my throat has just decided to dry up and I don't know why. Oh. It's always the way, isn't it? When you need your voice to work, it decides to break or just dry up. It's always fun. Just realised that the weather looks pretty grim today. My parents are due here. I'm just looking at the clock. There's a clock over there. 10:47. Yeah, they'll be due very soon. So I need to get a wiggle on. Yeah, I was hoping to take them for a walk, but I don't think it's going to happen if it starts chucking it down. Anyway, on to the next work in progress. And the next one that I have for you, here it is the Musselburgh Hat by Isolde Teague. I can't hold this properly, why not? There we go. The Musselburgh Hat by Isolde Teague. Now, it doesn't look like much at the minute. The crown of the hat is here. That's where I cast on. And then basically just knitting. I don't want to drop any stitches. Just knitting a big long sock-like thing. And you keep going until you have knit for long enough, and then you decrease for the crown on the other end. Then the idea is you just tuck it in on itself and create a hat. That was a terrible demonstration, but the Musselburgh hat is such a popular design and I totally get it now. It's such a lovely pattern, so versatile, and you can use any yarn you like really, because Isolde gives you a really good formula for different yarn weights, which is fabulous. So that's where I got to the last time I showed you, and then that's where I'm at now. So I've knit a fair amount. Most of that was done on the ferry on the way home from Bruges. So yeah, that's where most of that was done. I do try my best to knit when I'm in bed, when I'm reading my book, but I'm actually reading a physical book at the minute. So I can't knit and read if I'm reading a physical book, because obviously I have to hold the book to me. Yeah, I have to hold the book. I can only really do this when I'm reading a book on my Kindle, because obviously that stands on its own, and then you just have to touch the screen to change the page. So at the minute, this hasn't got much work at home. It's mostly been worked on holiday. So, but that is where I'm at. Absolutely love it. The yarn I'm using is by Dye and Knit by Kate. Excuse the scrumpling of the label. It has been folded and put inside the yarn cake, but obviously I took it out to show you. The makeup of the yarn is really nice. It is a different one to me. I usually go for sock yarn, which is usually 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. However, this one is different. This one is 60% superwash merino, 20% superfine alpaca, and 20% nylon. So it's just this beautiful blend of fibres, and it feels so ridiculously soft. I can't explain how soft it is. It's just lovely. The colourway, so this colourway is Universe. It's beautiful. I think it's doing a little bit of spiralling, which is perfectly fine. I've got no issues with spiralling at all, or colour pooling. I'm really not bothered. But it's actually really displaying quite nicely on my hat. And at the crown as well, it's not, it's not too dissimilar from the rest the body of the hat. It's very beautifully dyed. So yeah, I'm very excited. I'm getting there slowly. It's a long haul project. I was knitting this as part of Linda Simpson's Hat and Cowl make along. Hat and Cowl fall make along. I believe that's it. But I don't think I'm going to get it finished in time, and I don't want to rush. I know the deadline is November, but next month is going to be Mystery Knit Along month, and yeah, everything kind of gets put to one side. But anyway, that is my Musselburgh Hat by Isolde Teague. Now, the next one I have for you, oh yes, I'm very excited to show you this. I always am. But the next one I have for you is the Pink Fizz by Andrea Mowry. I have been loving this project, and I think you've been seeing it as I've progressed through it, and you've seen it at different points that are just yeah really nice. So it has been blocked twice. There are a lot of changes, so I'm going to start with where I got to last time. So the last time I showed it to you, I had knit as high up as I needed to in the round, so then I'd split for the sleeves, so you knit the front and the back pieces back and forth. So that's where I was at, and I'd nearly finished. I'd nearly got to the point on the front section where you start shaping for the collar and for the shoulders. So there's some short row shaping going on. So if I show you my marker, there's my marker, and then if you see, that's how close I was to the neck piece. So I'm holding it a bit funny because I've done a lot. I have since finished the front with the short row shaping, and I've finished the back again with the short row shaping. I have seamed the shoulders together. So if I show you that seam, I like this seam actually. It's was it a 3 needle bind off, I think, with the lumpy bit on the correct side. So you've got this lovely looking seam. I think you can see that okay. Yeah. And then as you can see, I've actually started on the sleeves. Let me kind of do this so that I can see what I'm showing you. So I've started on the sleeves. Now, there's been a bit of a problem with the sleeves because I started, I think, with this one, yeah. I started with this sleeve and I picked up the stitches and I used the needles that I used for the body. Now, for some reason, I've never had this happen before, but for some reason it just didn't look right. I don't know if you can see that, but it just looked really small and the fabric feels really dense compared to the rest of the body. It's only slight, but it was noticeable. So I then picked up the sleeve. Oh my gosh, I should have put needle stoppers on this. I then picked up the stitches and started the sleeve on the other side. This is so much better. And what I've done is, Andrea does note this in the pattern, but as I say, it's never been a problem for me before. So what I've done is I've gone up a needle size. So instead of using the 3.5mm, I'm now using 4mm, and it's giving me such a better fabric. And it looks like, I'm trying not to get this in my teeth, and it feels and looks like it fits a lot better. It's a really hard representation, which is why I haven't taken this one out, because I wanted to show you the difference, but you can't really see the difference. You can kind of see it a bit. There's a bit more of a step. And then if I show you this side again, yeah, I think you can see that. I'm not sure, but it's just a much better fit, a much better fabric. Obviously when I block it, it will settle down a lot more, but I wanted to show you that. So that's why I kept this sleeve attached, because I wanted to show you what I'd done and why I'd done it. But as I say, I've never had that issue before, and it was just really interesting to me that obviously Andrea had written it in the pattern that some people need to go down a needle size for the sleeves. And again, it's not something I've ever encountered before that I've noticed anyway, but for this pattern in particular, I really noticed it. So I have gone up a needle size, so from the 3.5 to the 4mm for the sleeves. And I'm much happier with the fabric that is creating. It feels more in keeping with the actual body of the sweater. So there we are, that's how we're doing. And I think the length is great. I can't really show you, but the length is great. Obviously, with this sweater, the back rib is longer, just slightly longer than the front rib. You can see that there. So the back rib is just slightly longer than the front rib, which I think is fantastic, because my rear end is a little perky, and it's nice to have that little extra coverage. But yeah, I'm so happy with this project. I am absolutely loving it. I am happy that I'm done with the lace work. I loved doing the lace work in the round, but doing it back and forth, so you're knitting one row and then you're purling the way back, so you have to do the lace work in reverse. Andrea has included two versions of the lace work, so the lace work pattern chart for in the round and the lace work pattern chart for when you're knitting back and forth. So they are there and they're very easy to follow. It's just, it obviously takes a lot longer doing it back and forth, but I'm so close now. I'm so close. I might actually try this on for you. I'm going to try my best not to, I've got so many balls. I've got 4 balls of yarn attached to this at the minute, so bear with me. But I will try my best to get there. I need a bit of leeway. We will get there. Hang on. Try and miss. There we go. All right. All right. Obviously, it's not going to look great because of my top, but if I show you that, I think it's absolutely beautiful. It's just such a lovely sweater. Now this is the sleeve that is the good sleeve, and it just fits. Obviously once it's blocked, as I say, it will be a bit better, but that is it so far. And then if I show you the other sleeve, oh, I can't figure out which way. It's just too much. It's just too tight and it's just not right. So if I do that, can you get rid of it? Kind of see the difference? I'm not sure if you can see the difference. You might not be able to see the difference. I don't know, but this sleeve is so much better on the bigger needle. And then if I turn around, you can see the back. Okay. It is just such a beautiful pattern. The fit is fantastic. It is exactly what I want. So couldn't be happier, and it feels lovely. The yarn I've used is, so this is the first one. I'm not sure because it's attached to me. Hang on. This is the yarn I've used. That's the main colour. And it is a Debbie Bliss Rialto 4 ply. There you go. And the colourway is 22034. So that is the main colour. And then the colour I'm holding it with, which is this lovely fluff. There's not a lot left. The lovely fluff is Drops Kid Silk Mohair. And you can kind of see that, can't you? And then the colourway is number 3. There you go. It's really hard to hold it close to the camera, but yes. So love this project, love the way it fits, and the shaping that is done around the neck is just spot on, really. It's absolutely spot on. Obviously, as I say, it looks silly with this at the minute, but it is absolutely spot on. It's so, oh, it's just lovely. And I love this line for the join. I think it's beautiful. Can I come a bit closer possibly? Just sit on books. But this line that comes down here, I absolutely love it. It's really beautiful. Yeah, there's just so much I love about this project. I have really enjoyed it. I am very much looking forward to finishing the sleeves and blocking it again, because I think that's what I'll do. Or I might just finish it completely and then block it. But oh, it's lovely. I absolutely love it. Yeah, I think I'm happy with the sleeves. As I say, considering how baggy the body is, I kind of expected the sleeves to be slightly baggier, but I think actually no, it makes sense. So once the sleeve is fully done, once I blocked it, I'll see how I feel, and yeah, really, really pleased. Love this pattern. Oh, let me get this off. I'm really warm now. Oh, there we go. So that is the Pink Fizz by Andrea Mowry. And yeah, just highly recommend it. If you're on the fence about it, I would recommend. Just be aware it is, oh my gosh, there's lots going on. Andrea is very good in explaining a lot of the techniques, but she also, I did have to check on YouTube for a couple of the techniques, like the 3 needle bind off. I've never done that before. So I have learned a couple of new techniques, which is fabulous. Right, on to the next one. What have we got? Ah, yes. So I have done only a smidge, a little bit of work. I can't remember where I got to when I last showed you, but I'm going to scooch closer. I got a find out of this book. I finally did some work on one of my Toft birds. I'm being a bit slack with them lately, actually. I don't know why. I think I'm just not feeling the crochet at the minute. That, or I want to get my Pink Fizz sweater finished, because obviously October is going to be all about the MemilyMakes cowl. So yeah, I have done some work on Margot the Swan. I still haven't sewn up Lydia the Goose, but Margot the Swan has very much been worked on. I'm trying to get the ring light not reflecting, but there she is. And she is out of this book, which is Crochet the 12 Birds of Christmas, a Partridge in a Pear Tree book by Kerry Lord of Toft. Yes, let me show you her. Right, I can't remember where I got to. I know I hadn't finished this, but this is her body and her head. So that is finished. And I have made a good amount of work on one of her legs. Only one, mind you, but that is one of her legs. It is in process as we speak. That is all I've done, I'm afraid. Not a lot, but at least I have done some. yeah, that's all I've got to say really about her. As I say, Lydia is still sitting there waiting to be sewn together. Margot is just so I know where I'm at, Margot is the 7th bird of Christmas, so I still have a fair few to make. I am planning now to try and get them finished for Christmas. The rest of them are up here, so all the way across there, and I'm hoping to get all 12 finished before Christmas. So fingers crossed I will get a wiggle on them soon. But yeah, I think the past couple of weeks I just wasn't really feeling it, so I didn't. However, yes, I didn't. Wait till the cast on section and you'll understand a bit more about that. However, right, on to my final work in progress that I have been working on the past couple of weeks. This was a car journey project. This is the one I tend to bring with me in car projects because they are vanilla socks. So they are my vanilla socks that I started back when I went to Le Mans in June. And they are just, as I say, vanilla socks. And the yarn is by myself. So let me move this a little closer. Here we are. So this is yarn that I've hand dyed myself as part of my little hand dyed yarn business. The hand dyed yarn business is called Apex Yarn. Let me get my little ball band out. There we go. So Apex Yarn. And basically I'm a massive fan of motorsport, in case you weren't aware. I'm a big fan of motorsport, and I set up my little yarn dyeing business to dye yarn inspired by motorsport. So this colourway I have since renamed because initially I was naming them after the cars, which is great. However, not everybody understands the names of the cars, and they were really long. So this was 1988 Jaguar XJR 9LM. It doesn't roll off the tongue, does it? And only people who are interested in motorsport will kind of understand unless you Google it. This is essentially inspired by the silk cut Jaguar that won Le Mans in 1988. So yes, I have since renamed the skein, the colourway, and it's now called First in Fourth. And that is just a nod to the fact that on the last lap, that they won Le Mans, so they were first, and on the last lap they were stuck in fourth gear, so they won stuck in fourth gear. First in fourth, there you go. That's kind of a nod to that, but it rolls off the tongue a lot better. Anyway, this is that colourway. So that is the colourway inspired by the livery of the car. So what I wanted to do was just do some vanilla socks, and here they are, vanilla socks. So that is where I got to. Oh, sorry, my needles are jangling against the tripod. Sorry. That is where I got to the last time at that snail, and then I have since finished the work on the leg, and I have started on the heel flap. There we go. The pattern for these is just a basic vanilla sock. I think everybody has their own way of doing vanilla socks, and mine are kind of taken from, heavily inspired by Twinset and Pearl's formula, if you will, for their socks, because their formula seems to work for my feet really well. So I tend to err on the side of Twinset and Pearl when it comes to my vanilla socks. Obviously I just tailor it to be vanilla, because all the socks that I've done from them have been pattern socks. But yeah, everybody has their own way of doing vanilla socks, and that's just mine. The cuff is just, sorry, did it again, knit one, purl one, but it's knit one through the back loop. So it's twisted rib. Is that right? I think it's twisted rib. I absolutely love the look of a twisted rib. I think it's brilliant. Yeah, and that is the sock. I have finished the first sock. I finished it a little while ago. There it is. So I'm doing the heel, toe and cuff. I'm doing those in undyed yarn. So it's just an undyed skein of yarn that I'm pairing with my colourway. So that is that. And I am getting there. I'm nearly, we're close on this. So there's no reason why I can't finish them and have a project finished. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Right, now we are on to the cast on section. I do have a cheeky little cast on for you this week. I have had a request from a family member to make them something. My throat is going. Oh my goodness. Just let me get another drink of tea. Hang on. Oh, the sun's come out now. British weather, everybody. The sun is out. Oh dear. Oh, yes, as many of you know, I adore tea. Tea is my favourite. Right, now I'm on to a cheeky Toft cast on. Now, it is not a bird of Christmas, but it is a bird. My aunt requested I make her something, not necessarily Toft related, but amigurumi style. And I've been waiting for her to confirm what animal or what she would like. And a couple of weeks ago, she messaged me and said that she would very much like a robin. So I went, one of my recent acquisitions, actually, it wasn't last week, it might have been the week before. Yeah, it might have been. Basically, I ordered a kit from Toft to do their robin. And that is what I started. I started it while we were in Bruges. I don't know why I didn't take Margot with me, but I didn't. And I've just started the robin. So this is what I've done so far. I've started on his body and just swapped to that colour now. It's not stuffed enough. I think it needs more stuffing. But yeah, so that is what I've done so far on Robin the Robin for my aunt. So this will be a gift. I love doing gift projects because it's just nice to do something for others. And yeah, I think my partner likes when I do gift projects as well, because it means that whatever I make is leaving the house at some point and it won't be sitting around like these guys. But yes. Right, now we are on to acquisitions. Yes, acquisitions. Now, if you didn't see my video last week, I had a lot of acquisitions that week. I've got my Bruges haul and I've just got a number of acquisitions at the end of that video. Now, there is one that I showed that I want to show again, and the only reason I want to show it again is purely because next week is when the mystery knit along starts. So I'm excited, needless to say. So bear with me. There will be some rustling, so again, bear with me. You think I would prepare ahead of time. I do prepare, just not well enough apparently. But I'm only going to briefly touch upon these because, as I said, I did show them in last week's video in more detail. So if you want to see more, check out last week's video, but I'm just going to show you the colourway and the dyer that I bought it from. So the dyer that I bought it from is Bird Street Yarn. And this is the kit. Oh, that didn't go well, did it? Hang on. Oh no. This is the kit that I bought. And that is, oh, I absolutely love this kit. It is their kit called Sultry. That is the name of the kit. And this is what I will be using for Stephen West's Mystery Knit Along Geo Gradient. And I'm so excited. It is absolutely beautiful. That's going to make such a lovely fade. And I think actually the light is better at the minute where they are than it was last week. So you're probably seeing them in a much better light. But that is going to be what I use for the Mystery Knit Along. There we go. I will hopefully be including progress and such in Vlogtober, but I recognise that it's going to be a lot of spoiler warnings. So I'm not quite sure how I'm going to deal with that yet. But if I do show anything to do with Stephen West Mystery Knit Along in the month of Vlogtober, please note that I will put spoiler warnings before I show anything. So don't worry about that. And I'm going to try not to be completely about the Mystery Knit Along as well, because I understand that there may be a number of you out there that just aren't interested in the Mystery Knit Along, which I get, I totally get. I don't know what is happening with my throat today, but anyway, on to the final acquisition that I have for you. I completely forgot to show you this last week, but I'm kind of happy because it means I can showcase it now. I got myself a book. It is not a knitting or crochet book. In fact, it is a sewing book, but I really wanted to show you it because I think it deserves a bit of a spotlight. It is very, very lovely. And this is it. This is a book by Bernadette Banner and it is called Make, Sew and Mend. Yes, I'm so happy I have this book. Now, Bernadette Banner is a fantastic YouTuber. She's absolutely brilliant. She is, bear with me, I'm going to get this right. She is a historical fashion YouTuber, and she's brilliant. She's absolutely amazing. I absolutely adore her makes. Now, if you're interested in historical fashion, highly recommend checking out her channel. If you're interested in just watching her create these absolutely beautiful garments, historical garments, or costumes in some cases, highly recommend her channel. This book is obviously a book that she has written to kind of reteach us how to make, sew and mend. So it goes through all the lovely hand stitching techniques that we should remember in theory if we're going to be mending anything or sewing anything. And it just kind of takes us through. So things like buttonholes, how to sew a buttonhole, by hand, how to mend, how to darn things. It's just such an amazing book, and I'm so happy that I have it, because there's a lot of things that I need to mend that this book is going to really help me with. So I have a skirt that I've ripped, and this book is going to be absolutely brilliant at helping with that. And I just absolutely adore her, so I highly recommend checking her out if you have not already. Also, she has a playlist on her channel that is absolutely fantastic. It is her making her Lady Sherlock costume. So yes, that is one of my favourites, and I have dreams that one day I will have a homemade corset and a beautiful gown. But you know, I live in a bit of a dream world sometimes, but she is living my little dream world for me. So I live vicariously through her, if you will. But yes, she's absolutely brilliant. Highly recommend. And this book, yes. Right, so I have a couple of other items coming. I think you may remember from last week's video, I did mention that I have a Halloween box coming from Beehive Yarns. Now, there's been a little issue with shipping, so I am still waiting on that. It should hopefully have arrived by next week, but Beth at Beehive Yarns has been absolutely amazing with trying to get things sorted for me. So she's absolutely brilliant, and I'm so excited to receive this box. So that should hopefully be arriving by the end of this week and should be with me by next week. The other item that I've ordered, I've done a big yarn order with Love Crafts, and that's because I have ordered some more yarn so that I can finish off Florence Nightingale. I didn't realise, but I needed some fingering weight yarn. All of the yarn I have is DK. I need some fingering weight to make her little lantern. So I've ordered that. I also ordered some more yarn to make one of my other cousins, to make her daughter a little sweater. So I'll be making another child-sized sweater. I've got the bug, what can I say? And then I've also ordered some yarn for my friend, because my friend has requested I make her a cardigan. So I'll be making her a cardigan. And I also ordered, I doubled that amount of yarn so that I can also make myself another cardigan in that specific colourway, because I made my cousin this cardigan in that colourway that my friend has requested, and it's beautiful. And I kind of thought, one day I will make one for myself, and it will be sooner than later because I've ordered the yarn. But yes, so that will be coming as well. So I think that covers everything. It has been a long video yet again. I would say I do try, but I tend to get into the waffle stage when I speak, and I lose myself, and you end up with my verbal, I'm not going to say the word, but you get my meaning. It just flows, and I can't seem to stop myself. I just get excited. But yes, anyway. I'm going to leave that there, and the next time you see me might be Monday the 2nd of October. And as I say, I'm going to try and step up the videos a bit more in October for Vlogtober. I will also try and do my podcasts every 2 weeks throughout October as well. So try and keep to the usual schedule, just in case there's any of you out there who really aren't interested in Vlogtober, but you still want to see the usual podcasts from me. So I will still be doing those. Don't worry. But yes, I'm going to leave that there, and I hope you all have an absolutely amazing rest of the weekend, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.